So at chapter 43 of Tanya Inside Out, and we titled this chapter Becoming a Dwelling Place for Hashem. So the to just sum up the whole chapter in a few words, I said it like this: humility and surrender are prerequisites for Dir B'Tachtoidim. For Hashem to come down into this world and to feel comfortable in this world, the only thing that really matters is that there's a bittul. That's all. We've said this so many times over and over, that all of reality is just a choice between me and him. Yisborach. That's it. There's nothing else. Like we've become so deluded into how complicated the world is. So there's him, but then there's, my desire for chocolate, and then there's my anger problem, and then there's my my thing about my chavrusa, and then there's the learning, and then there's there's the fact that I can't control my mouth, I can't control my eyes, and there's him, and then there's endless other things. Yeah, but that's a very superficial way of seeing reality. There's just him and me. And the me is a delusion, an illusion, whatever you want to call it. Okay? It's delusional, as in it's to give it credibility as a dava bifnei atzmai. That's the illusion. That's the delusion. It is a thing, though. There's a me who's there to serve Hashem. So it's very interesting to you. When was the last time you were a guest at somebody's house?
Recently,
yeah.
Yep.
So what's the din of feeling comfortable? What is it that makes you feel comfortable? Could you imagine being at somebody's house and not feeling, I'm not talking about physically comfortable, about not feeling comfortable being in their house?
Yeah.
What is it? What's the difference between feeling comfortable and not feeling comfortable?
How welcoming they are, how they treat you.
Right. How welcoming. And what's that really predicated on?
On them being, I don't know, them being sensitive towards
what?
your needs. Them being sensitive towards your needs.
Go on, Michael.
On them minimizing themselves and making you and elevating you.
With you, that's it. It's simple. Of their bittul. Their bittul to you is what determines whether you're going to feel comfortable or not comfortable. It's just super simple. If they're like, oh, don't put your feet over there, and we'll wait. You'll go into your room when we're ready. Just you wait. Just do this, and don't go in that room. That room's not for you. And please don't help yourself. Well, if you want something, ask me, and I'll give it for you. Yeah, that as opposed to my house is your house. Whatever you want, do whatever. This isn't my house. This is as much your house as it is my house. Please help yourself to anything. Go anywhere. Do whatever you want. That means that I'm putting my agenda to the side and I'm paying credence to your agenda. That's called Dir B'Tachtoinim. It's exactly the point. It's Hashem has kind of created a world where he wants to be a guest in. That's such crazy humility. You hear that? That he created a world that he gave to B'nai Adam, and he wants them to invite him back in. And he won't come in if he's not invited.
Yeah, it's like the rich shver buys his son-in-law a house, right? And has to be invited into the house. He wants to be invited, yeah.
Yeah, but this is with no ulterior motives and no ego.
Yes.
But it's very simple. That's what Dir B'Tachtoinim is. Dir B'Tachtoinim means that I'm not, again, it's so important. Do you hear the shift, this mind shift of these endless things, endless bayot, endless averas, endless tithers, and as opposed to just, no, it's just him and me. It's exactly the point. And it's very obvious. And it's the same with the mitzvahs as well. When all of the good things we do become these endless mitzvahs, as opposed, like we've said many times, why is he called a bar mitzvah? Why not a bar mitzvos? because you're just, that's the mitzvah. The mitzvah, like we said last week, is be'emunaso yichya. Tzaddik be'emunaso yichya. Now listen to this. The way the Rebbe says it in this, I never saw the nuance in the Lashon until this week. I love this shir because I'm preparing in a way that I've never prepared before, and
Got lucky.
What?
We got lucky to show up then.
Yeah, but this sefer is like a rose. It's literally the way they describe the Torah Sheba'al Peh is it opens up, so the most outer level was revealed at the beginning, and as we're going more and more, the inner leaves are unfolding and unfolding. And right now, you know, with the Baal Shem Tov and the inner part of the rose, and then by Mashiach, the mamash, the Pneumius will be revealed. But that's mitzad the macro. Within the micro, the sefer itself is the same thing in and of itself. As you put energy into it, it starts to open up like a rose, and the more energy you put into it, the more the pneumius of it opens up and reveals itself to you, and it becomes like a completely holographic. It's just amazing how you could cut any piece of the Tanya in any place, and you'll see the whole Tanya in every single ois. You literally see the entire Tanya in every ois and Tanya. You see the entire Tanya. So anyway, so he says that's in a nutshell that the whatever you want to call it, humility, surrender, bittul, whatever you want to call it, that's a prerequisite for the Ribbono Shel Olam to come in and to feel comfortable in his world. Making him primary and making yourself secondary. And that doesn't mean not having a self. See, the tzaddik doesn't need to make himself secondary. You know why?
Doesn't have a self.
Exactly. So it's really, where it's really at is by the Benoni. That's really where it's at. That's really where that's why we're striving to be a Benoni, not a tzaddik, because we want to be involved in the struggle, because we're zoicha to give the Ribbono Shel Olam something. We're zoicha to give him ourself. That's really what it was. And that's what it means. Rachmana liba boy. See, Rachmana liba boy doesn't mean that he just wants you to be like this, verkocht, you know? That's not what it means at all. It means he wants you. Some people go like that, you know? I met this Marine guy who he used to sleep like 2 hours a night before he was from, yeah? He was killing it, yeah? Like mamash killing it. He became from, and he's still killing it. That's just who he is. He's a guy who kills it. Like, you know, Lahavdil, like, you know, Elon Musk or, you know, all of these big guys in Silicon Valley, they mamash bust it, you know? It's not about going like that, it's about giving yourself to him. You could be an easygoing, gentle guy, you know, and if you were in business, you'd also be taking it easy. That's not, there'll be an intensity as well, but the Rachmana liba boy means ani ledoidi v'doidi li. That's the giving of yourself to him. And it can be that a guy's mamash verkocht and screaming and with his fists clenched, and he hasn't given himself to the Ribbono Shel Olam at all. That's just who he is. And he's experiencing himself now in the context of avodas Hashem, as opposed to giving himself to the Ribbono Shel Olam. That's what the Benoni is zoicha to do, is to give himself to the Ribbono Shel Olam. And that's the biggest matana you can give to the Ribbono Shel Olam. That's all he wants, because that's all there is. That's all there is. So it says over and over in the Navi, you know, leave out the korbanos. Just give me your heart. Give me you. Don't care about the korbanos. All that stuff is like, that's nice. Once you've given yourself, if you want to give yourself, then you have to give the korbanos and you have to do the mitzvahs. If you want to give yourself, there has to be an actual nesina. But if you're not giving yourself and you're doing all the external things, we have to get back on track, man. We have to bring it back home. We have to give ourselves over to him. So this was the bittul of the avois, yeah? The avois, Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, were 24/7 in this state. Now listen to this. This is what the Rebbe says here. I'll read it to you inside. The avois shekol yemehem, all there they were a makava. Sorry, hein hamakava. Yeah, as we said over and over, a makava is the din of complete surrender, of complete bittul. Yeah, hein. Hamakava shekol yemeihem le'olam lo yifsiku afilu sha'achas, that all of their days they weren't mafsik afilu sha'achas melakasher datam v'nishmasam, to be makadesh, to be makasher, to bind their dust, mean to be completely identified with the Rebbeinu Shalom v'nishmasam le'Rebbeinu Ha'olamim. Listen to this: the bebittel hanal liYehuda Yisbarach. That's the tzaddik. Bottle to what?
Now,
Bottle liYehudoi Yisborach, to his yichud, not to him, as in this divine figure in the sky. It might not be in the sky. He's like hovering around here, some kind of ethereal spirit that's basically no different to a man with a long beard and a cloud. He's bottled to Yehudoi Yisborach, meaning that God isn't a figure somewhere, even very, very close. There is only Echad. That's the bittul of the tzaddik. The tzaddik is the person who is completely kashor to yichud. Not that he's doing yichudim, but he's kashor to yichud. What's the definition of rasha? As we said many times in the Agada, a yotis atzmo min a klal. The rasha takes himself out of the klal. The tzaddik sees himself exclusively nivla, absorbed into the klal. By the tzaddik, there is only one. Tzaddik be'emunas yichya. That's what we said in the last parak. That's Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. And then went even deeper by Moshe. Moshe was so, to say cognizant of the oneness is already a complete no, what's the word?
understatement.
No. A complete concession. To say that they were cognizant of Hashem's oneness is a complete concession to our matzav. It's like a guy who takes LSD or psilocybin, yeah, who has or DMT, a heavy psychedelic drug, yeah, and he has an experience of melting into the oneness, yeah. He's having an experience of melting into the oneness. To think that that is godly is really a misconception of what the Rebbeinu Shalom actually is. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not that they were cognizant of the oneness, it's they were one with him. Cognizant
They
of
didn't just
me
they
being
didn't just experience the oneness; they became the oneness.
exactly. There wasn't another entity having an experience. There was just one. Just one. Like when you feel your hand get hurt, you wouldn't, like you would, I mean, think of the experience, yeah? That's a different experience than if you see your friend get hurt. But by the tzaddik, that's not a different experience. The fact that there's a sensation of pain is a completely, I mean, I don't even know if there would be a sensation of pain by the tzaddik, I don't know. But it wouldn't be a different thing seeing himself get hurt. See, we can have that experience in our marriage. That is available to us, that level of tzaddik in regards to just our marriage. But the tzaddik is in that level with all of reality. It's in these words, it's so important. These words, B'bittul hanal leYehuda Yisbarach. He's bottle to Yehuda Yisbarach, not bottle to a sefer, not bottle to a rav, not bottled to his religion. He's bottled to the Yichud Hashem. You hear the difference in that? What a completely different statement that is from any other kind of thing.
You're saying he's not even bottled to Hashem. It's like he's bottled to the Yechidus of Hashem. Like you said before, of this concept of the white beard and the Shemayim. It's not about that. It's about being complete, right?
Exactly. Exactly. It's the bittul to all of reality, realizing that as ein od milvadoi, there's not me being buttled to Hashem. There's just the yichud. That's all there is. As we've said many times, yeah, like you have the rock and you scratch in the name Avi. Did you add anything to the rock?
I took away from the rock.
Took away from the rock. That's what our names are. Our names are etched away from the rock. By the tzaddik, that scratch has basically been polished out. That's a good moshel to get it a little. I mean, there's lots of moshel, we've spoken about them. Okay, so now it got more intense by Moshe. Yeah, Michael.
Just going back to marriage for a second, when you say we have that opportunity with marriage, is that like the Rav who takes his wife to the doctor and says that our foot hurts? Is that concept?
It's like when you see one of your kids get hurt. Yeah, chas v'shalom, and you're hurt. You would rather be there. Yeah, that's already a yichud. That means that the boundaries between you and your child have been blurred, and you and your wife have been blurred. But by the tzaddik, him and reality has been he's just merged in with all of reality. That's a completely different experience. Not an experience, it's beyond experience. So now we've got Moshe went deeper, okay, to the point where the Shechina was medaberes mitoich groinoi, that he became so even deeper than the Avos that the Shechina was speaking through his mouth. That was the level of Moshe. Now, the inyan of Matan Torah, see, we aren't really capable of this on a 24/7 basis. There are moments we can have when we are merged in with the yichud of reality, okay? But on such a level, so when this happened to us at Har Sinai, it's interesting because I looked it up and it says Pircha Nishmasam. The Rebbe uses Lashon Pircha Nishmasam, that the neshamas left us when Hashem revealed Himself to us, and the yichud of reality in such a way that our neshamas left. But the Gemara that it quote, the Gemara, I looked it up all over the place, and it was interesting because the Gemara says it does say Pircha Nishmasam, but in the place where the Tanya quotes it, it says Yotza Nishmasam. The neshamas went out. But the point is that what happened at Matan Torah, this is a very important idea, is what happened at Matan Torah was a complete turnaround of Ruchnius and Gashmius and its relationship to Ribono Shel Olam. See, before Matan Torah, Yaakov was Makayim the mitzvah of tefillin, you remember? With like vines, sticks. And Avraham was Makayim the mitzvah of sukkah by sitting under a tree. Yeah? And the Avos kept all of the mitzvahs, even the Durabanans, yeah, as we know, as Chazal tell us. But they didn't keep them the way we keep them. For example, if you were to use sticks and vines, you wouldn't be Makayim the mitzvah of tefillin. Now, that meant what happened by the Avos, the kavana was ikka, and the Maisa was toffel. The Maisa was just a remez. By us, and this was what happened at Har Sinai, the reality of the world flipped around, that the Maisa became ikka, and the kavana became toffel. So the interim between when Matan Torah was the time of the changing around, when that revelation hit us, yeah, our neshamas just flew out of the body and the body just died. I don't know what happened. It sounds like the body just died, and then Hashem was machayas with Tal Torah. You ever ask yourself, what is Tal Torah?
When do I hear the phrase Tal Torah?
Tal Torah, due like Tes Lamed.
Yeah.
It says that the Tal Torah is going to be what's going to be Machaye, the mace.
I don't recall learning that.
The man was covered with tal underneath and above.
Right, that I know.
Like,
Yeah,
like the Shabbos challahs, we cover him.
Yeah,
yeah, I know. I understand the Tal. I never heard the phrase Tal Torah.
yeah. So it's brought. He brings it in the Tanya, and it's brought in Chazal and in a lot of the Chassidish Sfarim. So
What is it?
it's not. People don't talk about it much, but I don't know if it's worth saying this right now. Let's keep going for a minute
You
before.
have to give me an explanation.
Well, you know what dew actually is?
Do I know what dew is?
Yeah.
I mean,
Isn't
dew
dew
is
from
apparently comes from Shemayim.
But do you know how it works? Like I mean, when you wake up in the morning in the winter, your cars are covered in water, yeah?
Right.
Yeah.
It's the moisture in the air. Scientifically, it's the moisture in the air that's coming and accumulating and just gathering onto the ground,
Well,
onto the surface.
the coldness of the what, like in your house, you've got cold areas that get all moldy. It's the cold
Mm,
areas. Why? Because cold attracts the moisture.
mm.
The moisture is drawn to cold, yeah. So when the ground there's moisture in the air, yeah, and when the ground gets cold,
It
or
attracts it.
like a car gets cold, for example, then
The
the
metal.
gone out of the air and not considered that condenses on the car, and you end up. That's why you get frost. You don't get that so much in LA.
Mm,
I was just in England just now, and my parents' cars in the morning were completely frosted up. That's that the dew, the dew from the towel from the air, the moisture within there got pulled out. It hit the car. The car was below zero, which meant that then it froze. And so it's the moisture from the air. So what does it mean, Tal Torah? We call Torah is Mayim Chaim. Yeah? Ein Torah Mayim Mayim Torah. The my so really the essence of the Torah is the Mayim. That's the just like the air, you've got the Mayim in the air, that's the Tal. So to the essence of the Torah is what's going to be Mechaya Mason. This is a very big thing. We're going my project, Bezrat Hashem, when I finish this class with the women that I'm teaching, I'm going to start this new sefer with everyone that will explain this in detail. But it's going to take us too far away to go. It's not a quick thing at all. But the Al Regel Achas, this world is more, we've said this, I think, before. This world is much more godly than all the other worlds.
Yeah.
Misa is more godly in that it declares itself independent, just like God. That's why in this world we have Elohim Acherim. You can't have Elohim Acherim in any other worlds. So the potential of this world to go infinitely far from God is there. But on the same time, the potential of this world to be infinitely close to God is also there. And that's the union of the Krirus, Ka. Yeah? It's the Ka, it's the cold that pulls the moisture from the air. That's Bechinas Misa. There's two letters in the Hebrew alphabet that have got an element of negativity connected to them.
Reish
And Kuf.
and Chaf. Kuf.
Kuf. Reish and Kuf. Ka or rake, empty. There's all, and then there's, if you, Michael, you'll enjoy this. Take Reish and Kuf.
Kuf is also partial is a Reish.
So,
Reish
Kuf
and a
is a
Kuf is
Reish.
it's more like a cuff. You could say it's like I hear what you're saying. It's more like a cuff and a Zion.
okay.
Anyway, but if you take a kuf and a kuf and a reish and look through the dictionary, when you add a letter here, a letter there, you'll see it's kimat always very, very negative. It's amazing. It's really interesting if you take a dictionary and do that. Anyway, it's this world of Misa, it's the Misa that can draw out, and that's really the nullification. Memeis atzmoi, be memeis yourself, and that can draw out the essence of the Rabboni Sholem. And that was what was Machai. You hear? That's what is Machai the Mesim. The Tal Torah, meaning the essence of the Rabboni Sholem, not just his midas, but who he is in and of himself. Okay, so when Hashem revealed himself to us at Matan Torah, our neshamas left our bodies fell to void. It happened twice, and he was machai us back with the Tal Torah, and we came back to life, so to speak. And then from then on, he made it that there was the Mishkan, and it was going to be the Mishkan that was going to be his dir b'tachtonim. Okay, so there was like a structure that was made of wood and hide, etc. Yeah, not stone. The base of Mikdash was made of stone. Yeah, but it was made of someach and chai. And that was going to be where Hashem was shoyer, and he was. And then once we got into Eretz Yisrael, we worked everything out, and Shlomo Melech built the base of Mikdash. Yeah, then he was shoyer down into stone, mamash. That was really the shvisa. And then what happened is that the temple was destroyed. And then Hashem's dwelling place became the Dalad Amos Halacha. Why is it called Dalad Amos Halacha? Because the base dira is Dalad al Dalad. The Dalad Amos. You ever ask yourself that question? Why is it called Dalad Amos? It's like a cute thing from the sages. No. Chazal were meramis to that inyan of Hashem being shoivis. In our limud. Why? Because that's his rotzon and his chochmah. Be'ikah, that's what Sona Yisborach. That's his rotzon. When we're learning Torah, it's like that. It's like the guest. You come to his house and he's like, please tell me a little bit. It's like, when I just signed my mother-in-law up for Netflix just now. Yeah, but it asks you when you join up, pick 3 options. It wants to know about you, just so he can get inside your head. But that's the inyan of halacha, is we want to learn about the Rebbeinu Shalom. We want to learn about what he wants, what he loves, what he hates, what he prefers, how he likes it. Yeah, that's called the Dalad Amos halacha. That means that you're making a shvisa for him. He's mamash. You're just saying, let me learn about you so that I can not so that I can experience you, that I can bring you into your world. I can serve you.
So that you can experience me.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I said to the girls, the women last year, I said, your father sits you down and says to you, you know what my Ikka Hana in life is watching you dance or hearing you sing. Let's say hearing you sing. That's my ultimate pleasure in life, to hear you sing. And then he starts telling you about, when you sing this song, and then when you do that little high bit there, and then and he talks to you through the whole thing, every nuance of how much he loves you singing. When are you closer to your father? When he's telling you how much he loves hearing you sing and how to do it, or when you're actually singing to him?
I think when you're actually singing to him, you're actually giving him what he's just expressing to you.
Hear the question. This is the question. You hear the question?
Yeah.
That's the same question as which is greater, Torah or mitzvahs? And what the answer to that is? Torah is greater because it leads to mitzvahs.
Right.
So which is greater?
So they're both greater.
Biduk. Torah is greater because it leads to mitzvahs. Listening to your father telling you how much he loves you doing this and how much he loves you doing that, and actually doing that. Yeah,
one and the same.
You can have a big discussion. Well, it's not. They're not the same. They're not. You're fulfilling your father's will when you're singing to him, but you're just singing. What's the kesher? When he's telling you how much he loves it, there's me that I'm like, I could be crying listening to him telling me how much he loves hearing me singing. That's about
for you.
Exactly.
That's for you, not for him.
Exactly. The Limud Torah is more for me.
Right.
The Asiyas Mitzvah is more for him. But we can turn the Limud Torah into him by learning what it is that he wants. And learning about him. That's what the goal, that's the ikra of Limud Torah, is finding out who he is and what he wants so that we can do it. Almanas la'asos, so as to do. And that's the Daled Amos of Halacha. So now Hashem has his Shvis and Daled Amos of Halacha. And now the Rebbe comes along and gives us two very practical ways of staying connected to God 24/7. Yeah, Mike.
Maybe a very simple, simplistic observation is people say, what's the favorite word to hear is their name. You know, you have a conversation with someone, they love hearing their name. And usually if you have a conversation with someone and all you're doing is asking them questions, they'll think you're the most interesting person in the world because they got to talk about themselves. Now, Kaviyachol and all like that. But what does Hashem want for us? To say his name and to ask him about him and to learn about him and to inquire about him and to know more about him. We're the most interesting people in the world when we're studying Hashem and when we're engaging with Hashem, we're asking him questions and learning about him and saying Hashem's name. It's just like a thought when you brought this comparison.
I appreciate that. Yeah. So the two answers that the Rebbe gives us for making ourselves a shvisa for the Rebbeinu Shalom, a base dira for the Rebbeinu Shalom 24/7, is being koveya itim l'Torah. Now listen to the godless of this. Why doesn't he say lima Torah? Why koveya itim? See, now there's the inyan of being koveya shiurim, and then there's the inyan of being koveya itim l'Torah. Koveya shiurim would be like doing daf yomi. When do you do your daf yomi? I mean, you probably have a period that you do it, but you do your daf every day, or you do your Amud Yomi, or you do your Mishnah Yomi, or you do your Chitas, or all your, you know, whatever it is, yeah? And you fit it in whenever you can, yeah? We've all got these shiurim, yeah? Now, please don't get me wrong, it's Givaldic. Shiurim, Koveya Shiurim L'Torah is fantastic. But listen to the subtle difference between Koveya Shiurim and Koveya Itim. Koveya Shiurim says, Hashem, you are mamash important, and I'm going to fit you into my life. Shalom Aleichem.
Saying hi. Yeah.
Being Koveya Shiurim, you're saying to the Rebbeinu Shalom, Hashem, you're mamash important, and I'm going to make time for you. I'm going to fit you into my life. That's how important you are. Being Koveya Itim is saying, I am mamash toffel. Koveya Itim means, let's say, you're learning, you've been Koveya from 12 p.m. to 12:30 p.m., yeah? That time, that 30 minutes is Kodesh Kadoshim. No phones, no nothing, yeah? 12 o'clock, you're dead. You don't exist from 12 till 12:30, yeah? Which means that you're sitting in your place. If you're on a put on Tyson to fill in, you're already there with your phone off and a cup of coffee by 10 to 12. And you're sitting there ready. By the time you see the hand go click, yeah, you're there with your eyes on the Sfarim, yeah? You've given that time to Bojan, and you bend your entire life to that. You hear the difference psychologically of what you're saying? Koveya Shiurim says, Hashem Yochoshev, I'm going to fit you into my life. Koveya Itim says, Hashem, you're mamash choshev, and I will bend my life to you. Not I'll fit you into my life. I'm going to bend my life around your life. That's Koveya Itim. Now, when you can develop that, I can't stress how important this is. If you have a time to learn, even if it's just 15 minutes, yeah? If you can treat that time as if you don't exist mamash, and you said 12 o'clock, that means 12 o'clock. That doesn't mean 12:01. It doesn't even mean 1 second past 12. It means you're sitting there at 11:59, ready to learn. That's what Koveya Itim means. Not, look, I got this, I got that. So every now and again, life will get in the way, yeah, and it will be impossible, okay? And you apologize and you get on with it. But min hastam, that section of your life, if you've just got 15 minutes in your day where it begins and it's not, there's nothing happens. You're on the telephone, you're on your running machine, and you're like, well, if I do my regular run, I'm going to end up being 3 minutes late. I'm going to cut my run short. Yeah, I'll cut my run short. Do you realize what that does to you psychologically? It's I've been doing this for many years now, I'm mumlets this to you, mummish. This is one of the most powerful eights you can have. To have a time in your day where you literally are dead. You don't exist. Nothing will change this. And again, like I said, it's not what's the word? It's not, there's no like leeway with it.
You can't bend it. No bending the rule. No bending it. No.
You're there exactly.
By hook or by crook.
Already learning at 12 and until 12:15, until 12:30, until 1, whatever it is, yeah? It bends your entire mindset backwards.
It's why I was 10 minutes late to the share, because I was trying to be Kaveh Itim, but then I had the share today.
This is is that you've changed yourself from HaShem your Choshev. I'm gonna invite you into my life to HaShem your Ikka, and I'll bend my life to you. And it does amazing things. It does amazing things for your entire relationship. That's number one.
What's number two?
Kaveh eating. Number two is tzedakah. Because by tzedakah, when you're giving tzedakah, you are giving a chomesh or whatever, or a siri. You're giving either 10. You're giving a percentage. When you're giving a percentage of your money to the Boy Shalom, you're really being mekadosh all of your money because it's a percentage. So from every dollar you earn, you're giving 10 cents or 20 cents. Yeah, which means from every cent that you earn, you're giving a dime or whatever. Yeah, is a dime or a dime's 10 cents. So from whatever it is, every chalik of whatever you're earning, you're giving. So really, you're being mekadosh all of your money, and that means you're being mekadosh all of your time that you're there with. He's going to talk about this more in detail in I think in the next period or Lamed Vav. Can't remember. But that's another way of creating a shvisa for Hashem. 24/7.
I mean, it ties into
yeah.
I'm saying isn't that first of all we say, but b'chol is your money, it's tzedakah. That's what you're saying there on that. Is literally giving. It's giving everything of yourself for Hashem, not fitting Hashem into you, but giving of yourself to Hashem. Every ounce of your body and soul.
Yeah. And even more, if we'll learn another time, the Mo'udecha is an even deeper level of yourself. It's Alpi Chasidus, that's Ki Koevelecha Davar Mo'oid. Yeah, Moide Ani, by Moide Ani, if you let go of the soft letters by Moide Ani, you end up with the word Mo'oid, the letters for Mo'oid. It's the same, this Indian of Mo'oid is the deepest level of yourself. But the point is that the Kovea Itim, that idea of bending myself to him as opposed to fitting him into me, that turns do you realize what we said? That turns you into 24/7 a mishkan for the Rebbeinu Shalom, because you have made yourself, like I said, it's not you're fitting him into your life, you're fitting your life into him. That's called that's called having made yourself.
You said mikasa e sukasa. You made your house his house.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the two answers that the Rebbe gives. The Rebbe gives koveya itim laTorah and tzedakah, and that just shows you that doing what we're here to do is not about experience. We can have experience and we need experience. Experience is choshev, it really is. And we should enjoy and we should strive for experience as well, yeah? Just like we have to have a healthy body. We have to have a ruchnius experience. We need to. But that's not what it's about. It's just like it's not about having a healthy body. It's not about having an experience. Maybe in tefillah, there is a mitzvah of an experience, maybe. Okay? But the general avodah of Hashem, the general avodas Hashem is just like we said. It means you become secondary to him, even to the point where you become absorbed into him completely. But at least I'm putting myself second and him first. Not I'm fitting him into my life I'm fitting my life into his life. That's what it means to be over Hashem. And he finishes off, and all of this is basically it's the last chapter on Simcha. And now I think next class I'm going to do a big chazara for all 34 prakim. So this is the end from Perek Kaf Vav to Lamed Daled is like a whole section on Simcha. And he basically ties about this is a source of tremendous simcha. When you think about the fact that you are ru'ui to be a base dir for the Rebbeinu Sholem, to be a dir tachtonim for him, that's a reason for tremendous simcha. And then he finishes off finally by saying that there's no stira between being besimcha and being zibrochen at the same time. That we can be zibrochen for our lowly animal state and for the fact that we have these selfish, animalistic drives. For that we can feel lowly and bitter and zibrochen. And at the same time, in the other side of the heart, we can be feeling tremendous life and simcha for the fact that we are zoicha to be the dir
b'tachtonim for the Eibishter.
Mamash.
Beautiful. I have to go be kaveh itim right now. I have another chavrusa now, but I just wanted to show you a little nachas. You might appreciate it. I certainly get nachas from it. This is my truck. I went off-roading on Sunday. Look at that nice paint job over there.
Oh wow!
That incredible. Okay, shkoyach. Have a wonderful day.
Shkoyach.